Hello, welcome to the episode of Motoring Middle East. Today I'm checking out the gorgeous Mazda 3 hatchback. It's the little sensation from Japan that aims to put a little bit of a kicking up to the Germans. And you can kind of understand why. What a stunning thing, isn't it? I mean, just the design alone is enough to sell me. Prices for this car, not cheap, unlike Mazda's of yore. Mazda's previously were around 60, 70, kind of cheap cars, well made, good steering, good handling, but never too expensive. All of that has changed. This car, this hatchback version, starts at 82,900 dirhams, and in this top spec version, it costs a crushing 99,900 dirhams. So, damn near makes no difference, 100,000 dirhams. Everybody I've said that price to has just dropped their jaws in shock. How is a Mazda 3 worth as much as a Prado in the 1990s and 2000s? Well, the answer is, it's pretty good. That's how. But you're probably thinking, okay, there's no way this Mazda 3 can live up to being 100,000 dirhams. It's got to be as agile as a BMW, as comfortable as a Mercedes, as well equipped as a Lexus, and as technologically unchallenging to use as a Rolls Royce. Well, it's kind of all of those things. Let's take a look, shall we? So what is it about the Mazda 3 that makes it look so good? Well, if you notice, it's really, really low. This isn't like Honda low. This is like modified stance car low. Look at it. It's so low and mean and angry. So angry for a Mazda. This color is called Soul Red Metallic, and it harks back to one of my favorite MX-5 colors, which is also a very deep, dark, almost burgundy. Beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous color. Blacked out wheels. I kind of like silver wheels, but on this car the black works really well. Look at this car. The design is just so beautiful. I love the little chrome strip that runs around and brightens up the daylight opening, or the greenhouse as the manufacturers call it. Of course, fuel sticker here, very, very good. It's only a 2-liter engine, 155 horsepower, and we'll talk about it. It's not the best part of the Mazda 3, but the best part of the Mazda 3 is this back bit. It's so good looking. It's so alpha-like, absolutely stunning. And if you're thinking, look, that looks like it might really cut into rear visibility, you'd be right. Yes, it does really, really hurt rear visibility. But who cares? It looks so good. Yeah, just every line on this car is just so beautiful and perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. Absolute design knockout. And you get to the back end, gets even better. Not tons of badges, just simple little things. Mazda 3, Skyactiv G. What's Skyactiv G? That's the system which Mazda likes to refer to its engines as, kind of like an overall thing, like Earth Dreams on Honda. Yes, it's a bit silly. Oh, it's got this lovely little spoiler here. It's so subtle, but it just gives you that little bit of completion to the back. Yeah, just go look at the side one more time to give you an idea of how the stance of this thing looks. It's pretty low. Like, I wouldn't drop it much lower than this. You'd think this was like a car that's worth 150,000 dirhams, honestly, judging by these looks. Let's see if the boot space lives up. Prepare to be... Okay, it's not big, is it? Yeah, you could probably get one suitcase in here. That's my normal bag, and look how big it is in there. Yeah, you do pay a bit dividend for style. Penalty? Not dividend, it's a penalty. Of course, you got a little parcel shelf here, and there is nothing else in there. Is there a rear... Hold on, Giotto. There is a full-size spare. Oh, look at that. That's the Bose subwoofer. Okay, so yeah. Oh, there's Bose in this car, isn't there? You didn't know that? Yeah, this is one of the best sound systems you probably hear for any price. Yes, I said that. It's a bold statement. Let's see what the rear seat passengers get to enjoy. Hint, hint, it's not much. So you're looking at this car and thinking, wow, the hatchback must be so uncomfortable to sit in the back because that roof slopes down so much. Well, guess what? It's not that bad. This is where I would sit in front of me, and luckily Mazda has been quite clever. There's a little cutout in the front seat which takes away a little, scallops a little space, as a chef would say, to keep my legs. Now, granted, if you were much taller than me, you're kind of out of luck. 6 footers, no way. But I'm okay back here. I wouldn't say I'm brilliant, but I'm okay. It's more like a 2+2 than a full 5-seater. It's a bit, there's not much width in the car despite the looks of it. So yeah, it's more of a 2+2 and an occasional one for a friend you don't like very much. So that roof sloping down does cut into my headroom, but not as much as you think. This leather is just so nice to sit on. I got no complaints about the leather. Armrest. What have we got here? We've got drop-down seat rest, 2 cup holders as you'd expect. We've got AC vents back down here. Hold on. Yeah, AC vents. Have we got USBs? No. Have we got rear seat entertainment? No. Is this not that expensive a car to ask for those things? Yes. Should it have USBs? Yes. At a bare minimum. Come on, Mazda, you're charging 100 grand for a car. You can shove a couple of USBs in the back. I don't need DVD players. It's not 2005, but I would like some USBs in the back. But overall, it's okay. For two people, reasonable distance is fine. There's good under thigh support. The backrest is in a nice angle. It's not that bad. Could have been a lot worse considering the looks of the car. All right, to the front. Gosh, it's been a minute, hasn't it, since we've been in any Mazdas. And this new generation is absolutely stunning. Check out the beautiful, beautiful interior design. Classy little leather seats. I love this burgundy. I think it's an option, but on this car, of course, it comes fully spec'd. This leather is just buttery soft. It looks like it's ventilated, but it's not. But to be honest, there's only so much you can expect at this price. What you do get is this stunning design for free. This leatherette, stitched dashing, no contrast stitching, which is very nice. What I love about this screen right here, apart from the fact that it's just the right size, is that, guess what? It's not a touch screen. It's actually controlled by these switches down here. So basically, it's like any old Audi. You've got this rotary jog dial and hard buttons to either side of it. And of course, like the Audi that's copying so well, you've got a volume control here and a favorites button down here. And this volume control obviously can do everything from up, increase and lower the volume, as well as change backwards and forwards on your track. Here you've got electronic parking brake, and again, nice little expensive feature, auto hold. So when you stop, it automatically engages the handbrake. Other than that, not too much going on. No multiple drive modes, just sport on, sport off. Don't expect a huge difference. Gear stick, a gear stick. No buttons, no levers, no silly nonsense. Just click, click, click. Then, oh, by the way, it's the right way around. Pull for upshift, push for downshift. Just like a manual. There is no other way, people. You're doing it wrong. There's also two cup holders down here. And there's no Qi charging points. I'd like a Qi charging points, but I guess what else can you expect? Dashboard, super clean. Just the AC controls down here. And one of the nice things is when your hand is sitting on the gear stick like this, you can just go one finger forward and change the fan speed. Look at that. Simple. AC performance, pretty good. It's very hot out here, 40-45 degrees. It's holding up okay, except it's been sitting in the sun for a long time, which is reasonable, I guess. Pretty good, I would say. Big, of course, hazard warning here. Defrost, rear defrost, and that's it. There's some blank buttons, which is a bit surprising. I mean, come on, guys. It's a 100k car. What could I possibly be missing? Oh, one more thing. It's dual zone climate control. Start stop button. Oh, there's a USB here. Okay. So there's at least two USBs. One USB here and one USB. Come on, Giado, you can do this. Nope, I can't do it. Can't do it. There we go. Did it. Okay. I've got my Sunny in here and one more USB and that's the USB, and there's a lighter socket for not lighters. It's not a big cubby, there isn't a lot of stuff it can hold, but it's a cubby, okay? Let's be happy. My favorite bit about this car is the steering wheel. It's absolutely gorgeous. I don't think there's a single thing, I'm not even joking, that I would change about it. I would put the steering wheel on a Ferrari. It's just so nice. These buttons are so good to hold, the cutouts, everything perfect, the leather quality perfect. It's just amazing. Yes, I am blabbering and gushing because I love it so much. Let's get the controls here. So you've got call answer, call end, info. If you see what that does in the main screen, changes it to two different modes for the one of the three different modes. Look at that. Digital display, I hate it. No, let's go back to the main one. Volume up and down, track up and down, and this actually goes source and this goes mute. Radar cruise control, so you've got cruise control set, distance, assist for the steering on the highways, which basically lane departure warning, I hate it, turn it off, and main cruise control on off. This car has radar cruise control. That's incredible. And look how clean it is. Unlike Ford, it doesn't have 14 million buttons. Unlike Toyota, the button layouts are good and easy to hold for people with normal fingers. And unlike Honda, I don't have anything to complain about Honda, I just need to say Honda in there. But yeah, Toyota could learn a lot from this, which is interesting because Toyota just bought a huge chunk of Mazda, and a lot of the future Toyotas are going to be influenced by Mazda, and this is a good start. The design is just so like somebody's thought about this. And finally, but not last, but not least, I love this gauge cluster. You've got your water temperature, you've got fuel, very good on gas, this car. The digital speedo, which looks analog, that's how crisp it is. These displays are configurable, but right now you've got the kilometers left, which is 90, kilometer economy, which is basically kilometer per liter, and you've got the mighty tachometer. It's so simple, so easy to use. Only one thing left to do, drive it. I've been talking about price a lot, and you can kind of see why. I mean, 100,000 dirhams is a lot of money for a small hatchback. I mean, you could get a Mazda CX-3, a CX-5, a Honda Accord, a base Toyota RAV4. The list goes on and on and on. This car better be damn good. And the answer is, you've got to think of it a little bit differently. You've got to think of it not as a Japanese hatchback, but as a cheap German hatchback. And by that metric, it makes a lot of sense. I drove an Audi A4 recently, which cost 267,000 dirhams. It had a 2-liter turbo engine. It had all the mod cons fully spec'd up, and it wasn't as nice as this. In fact, if you can watch the review, I'm struggling to think of anything to say about it. It's fine, but you get the feeling that each person that worked on that car did the job that was expected of them and nothing more. It's like, okay, you know what? We've done a good steering wheel, we've done a good HVAC system, we've done a good display. Everybody good? Everybody good? Everybody good? Everybody happy? Good. Everybody can go home. Wunderbar. And that's it. And that's the car that you've got. Perfectly okay. Nothing to complain about. But with the Mazda 3, I'll show you. Most cars, I've got quite long arms and quite long legs. So I've got to sit far back. So that means I'm always stretching my arms out. Basically, I'm the worst possible person for Italian cars. They don't telescope out enough, these steering wheels. Telescopes out enough. Perfectly. Just that little bit more than a German car. More than the Audi A4. And that's the difference. They went that extra inch, that extra mile, metaphorically speaking, to make a car that I can use every day. And that shows in every aspect of this car. This cockpit layout, I use the word cockpit because it is like being a damn fighter jet in some ways. Everything is just perfectly to hand. I wasn't kidding before. You can keep your hand here, perfectly touches the fan speed. The controls, everything, the way that your elbow just naturally falls to hand on this armrest and this armrest. Perfect. It's like somebody really thought about the experience of driving a car. Does that extend to the actual handling and performance? Kind of a mixed bag answer there. I'm a huge Mazda fan. I have loved Mazdas. I've owned one. That was the best one, the Mazda MX-5. Lovely car. Absolutely gorgeous machine. Only one problem. Had a really flat engine. Had great handling though. Does this car have great handling? It's good by German standards. It's okay by Mazda standards. The steering doesn't have that kind of delicious adjustability. Before, the steering wheel is like a hound dog. You just go whoop, like an alpha, just go into a corner. It still does that here, but there's a dullness, a sharpness, like it's had a few drinks. Like it's just, no, you shouldn't drink and drive, obviously. Let's just say it's a couple of watermelon juices. It just doesn't really respond the way that you want a Mazda to. It kind of feels a little dull and damped. The ride is good. Little harsh in places because it's got 18-inch wheels, so the car is a little stiffer than I'd like it. It doesn't basically. Why are there air hostesses out here? Okay, I guess they're doing a photo shoot. Completely thrown off track now. Yeah, the ride and handling is okay. I wouldn't describe it as exceptional. 6-speed gearbox, good. Very good actually. Engine. Not so good. 2 liters, 155 horsepower, and I've got a full launch start. I'm going to go a brake torque just to get a bit more. This is foot to the floor. 6,500 RPM. 6,500 RPM. That's 100. That's 100. It's not particularly good, is it? Yeah, that's not good enough. It's kind of a weak motor. It doesn't have a lot of torque. It's always revving around 3,000-4,000 RPM. Lucky the 6-speed is so good. Otherwise you'd feel even worse. With a manual, I think it'd be a lot better. And of course, we don't get manual in this market. There is a big motor, the 2.5 liter. I wouldn't mind the 2.5 liter. I think it's about 180, 190 horsepower. That would be the one. I've driven it in the Mazda 6. Lovely motor. And like this car kind of feels a little heavy. It feels like it wants it's always changing down more gears than I'd like, It doesn't have flappy paddles, and I don't mind. It doesn't need flappy paddles. Not every car is a sports car. The very responsive gearbox. You'll never use flappy paddles. What's the point? But the engine is a bit of a weak spot. It's the only thing that lets down this car, and it kills me because Otherwise, it's kind of worth 100k. You know, I mean, it's more worth 100,000 dirhams than the 270,000 dirhams that Audi was ridiculously asking for that A4. This car can just about get there, but this engine. But like everything else, there is a good point, and that good point is that it has ridiculously good fuel economy. Like ridiculously good. Like it just sips gas. This thing. I don't know, the Sky Active Magic or whatever Mazda is doing. It doesn't use much gas. That's fine by me because I'm thrifty. Some might say cheap, but I would like it if the engine was a bit more sparkly, a bit more character. The new MX-5 has the same version of this engine, but they fiddled with it. They've changed the rev limit. They've altered things and made the car sparkle. This engine doesn't sparkle. This engine just sort of a workman, which is a shame because it's attached to a supermodel of a car. And you know what? I can forgive the so-so handling because everything about this car just feels right. Like it doesn't have to be a superstar. It just feels nice. That's the best way I can describe it about this car. Everything about the Mazda 3 feels nice. So I can forgive the so-so handling. I can forgive the slightly stiff ride. I can forgive even the flat engine. Because when I'm in it, I don't want anything else. I don't want a car that costs more. I don't want that Audi. So yeah, recommended. Against all odds, this 100k Mazda, can it be 100k Mazda? Absolutely cuts the mustard. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, etc. I'll see you next time. A little Easter egg for you people still watching. Mazdas used to be really noisy cars. People used to hate them, and it gives you a headache because there just wasn't that much damping inside the car, insulation, etc. I'm at 120. I can have a conversation. It's absolutely fine. Fantastic, in fact. One more thing I'd like to point out about this Mazda, two little features that I absolutely love. It's got radar cruise control. It's got amazing memory seats, and it's got the best sound system. This Bose sound system is embarrassing cars twice the price, 3 times the price, 4 times the price. This is one of the best sound systems I've heard in any car, and because it's quieter in here, you can now hear it. That's all I wanted to say. Good job, Mazda.